Hey, what's up, YouTube? Dark Signer here, coming at you guys with another video. So this last weekend, I ended up going to my locals again. What's it called? I'm from California, so we have like literally a locals like all the time. I ended up going to two locals. I played Eldritch on one of them, and then I ended up realizing that I didn't have enough fun with Eldritch, so I ended up playing Salamangreat. I just wanted to test the deck. It was actually really good. I ended up going X1 in Swiss, and then I ended up winning the whole thing afterwards, all the way to the finals. So my loss in Swiss was to PK. I just ended up drawing like an unplayable. But outside of that, like all the matchups were super grindy. Like this deck is like really fair. There's no there's no just like easy win outside of like the access code. But then obviously most of the time people have nib, especially games 2 and 3. There's a lot of times where like I would play into nib with like access code to make it so that they have to do something because I'm gonna just OTK them and then like just keep everything in hand. And then after they nib me, then I would just like keep going off. There was like one guy that like nipped me, but he put the token in attack mode because it was like the access code was 23, and then I ended up just comboing off after that, and I was able to just push through the Nibiru by making what's it called, the Heat Leo, and yeah, so it was pretty good. Um, so I guess like I'll go through. I guess like I'll just go through the deck. I was gonna talk matchups, but I feel there was just way too many interactions going on that it'd be hard to like talk about it. So I'd rather just go through the deck. And then shout out to Rogers. It sucks that we lost Devontae, but it's fine. So the big card I think is like Buffalo. So essentially this card gives you a draw two, and obviously most of the time it's free because everything you want is in the graveyard. And then I thought about playing like the Scythe and stuff like that, like with the artifact engine, just because like it's another thing that you could draw into. But I don't know. I ended up like going against it just because like I kept drawing Scythe and it was just really bad. I wasn't doing enough. And the times that I did draw like the artifact stuff, like the deck just kind of like already outwon by itself. But obviously like the draw two is still really good, just because like you always want to be able to draw two. So we'll go with those. And then I played triple Foxy, triple Spinny, just because the fact that we have access to like Mirage Stalio now, like it makes it so that any 2 level 3s is like full combo essentially. So these guys just kind of facilitate like the full combo just to summon the Mirage Stalio. So yeah. And then obviously like the Foxy's still really good against like all the floodgates and stuff like that. I ended up playing Owlich. And here like there can only be one, and I ended up just being able to play around it. And then one Gazelle, one Falco, and one Jaguar. So these are all the 1-ups. And I don't want to play multiples. I don't play Desires, so like the one Jaguar is fine. Like you never like obviously you're never gonna banish it with Desires. So it was just literally just that. And then Gazelle, no explanation needed. And then I ended up playing the Parallel Exceed along with the Format Skipper, or I don't even know this guy's name. Yeah, Format Skipper. So essentially, this guy obviously gets you access to this. It's another name, but then obviously this guy, the fact that he could copy the name is ridiculous because he lets you do a lot of things. So there was games where I would just search this out and then obviously like make my play with Sign Mining. And then the Parallel Exceed, it makes it so that it's an easy way to just OTK your opponent out of nowhere while not applying pressure, and like to the point where like you're able to make like your access code and everything to push for OTK. They have to Nibiru you, and then obviously you still have all the salad cards to play with. And then obviously making Dweller against most decks is just like auto game. And then I play one of the Cybers, the C. So this guy was like kind of weird for me just because I never really used him and I was sided out a lot. But in theory it was pretty good just because it's another level 3 that just recurs itself. But the thing is, I never really wanted to make Mirage Stalio as much, just because like the fact that he cuts you off from like everything besides fire was kind of bad. So yeah, but he's still there just in case you break or something and you want to have access to like another level 3. And then I played this. So I played the DPE package. Yes, like I'm sorry, the deck's gonna be expensive for that reason. You don't have to play it. Like honestly, there were so many games where I just didn't do this because it makes it so that unless you draw the nuts, like a lot of your hands, like you can make Verde, but then it cuts you off from like being able to like search your counter trap or being able to do normal salad stuff. So it was just here in case I literally had nothing. Then just summoning DP was fine, because drawing these cards are just it was just terrible. Which is why I played more than 40. I just didn't want to draw these. In hindsight, it was good when I bricked, but it made my good hands worse essentially. And then like just having one of these was just bad. Like I would rather have anything else instead of these. So it makes it so that I don't know. It just made it weird to play because like obviously making Verde and stuff like that, like it's just not like it's not something you want to do. And the thing is, you want to have access to all your salad stuff. And then I did play a bunch of hand traps, so I played 3 Ashes, 3 Imperm, 2 Ghost Ogre, 2 Lancia. How could I forget? So 3 Nibiru as well. So I played like a lot of hand traps. It was 13. I wanted to always open multiples of each. And obviously, like the two ofs, like they're just kind of like they're there for different matches. Obviously, this is for the Brave. This is for pretty much anything for the most part, but they're just not as great as like the rest of them. Like Nibiru is probably the best one. You put Nibiru plus Imperm, you're gonna win anything. And then obviously Ash is just like the most generic, but it's recurable. Like you'll keep adding it back to your hand over and over again, which is why I played it. If not, I would have probably played 2. But the fact that you have constant access to it is just what the reason. And then obviously like these 2 being level 3s like matters a lot. So I played 3 Sign Minings, 2 Salamangreat circles. I mean, it came back to 2, so I had to play 2. 2 Will. It plays around Nibiru. It's like essentially like the way to just play around Nibiru. So just like I said, just play around Nibiru. The one field spell, I didn't have access to a common, so I played this hollow one and I drew it every game. And it's like obviously the worst card to draw, but I drew it every game. 2 Fusion Destinies. 1 Called By. It's like the only card you play to like actually do something. 1 Rage and then one Roar. So essentially, I thought I would play multiples of these just to make the deck bigger, but they would just break a lot, and like obviously having access to like easier way to get to Gazelle, like you just want to play 1 of each. The main deck I think was perfect, honestly. The only thing is maybe cut the DPE package. It made the deck definitely a lot stronger, but it also made it a little bit weirder. Like the hands were a little more cloggy and they were clunky. They were just like there was just so many better scenarios of just more hand traps or like having access to different cards and then maybe playing Desires as well. Well, obviously with that you don't want to play Desires. So that's it for the main deck. Like I said, it worked out fine. I just keep drawing the field spell, but outside of that it was fine. The extra deck, this is one thing that kind of sucked. So obviously 3 Balinks, 3 Sunlight Wolf, 1 Helio. It sucks that I couldn't play the second one because it came up a lot, and then like doing the making their monster 0, like I missed it so much. Like I would have been able to win other games, but the thing is most of the time like you literally just summon this, get rid of a back row, and then make this into access code. So it's literally just that. 1 Splash Mage, obviously for like the big like 1 card access code play, the update jammer, and then the transcode for the obviously the OTK, access code part of the OTK, Mirage Stalio, and then 1 Dweller is what you make, and then 1 Verde Anaconda to get you to your DP, and then obviously DP is like he's everyone's dad, so this card's way too good, like way too good. Like I said, it sucks when you have so much advantage because like your hands are kind of weird. I kind of wanted to play Dagda, but then that completely cuts you off from like all Salamangreat cards because like you would have to have so much like obviously a lot of cards, but not just that, but you wouldn't be able to like access to the salad stuff. You would have to link it off to end up making like Verde plus Dagda, which is cool. But then at that point you don't have access to like the other salad cards, and the thing is like sending them to the graveyard, that's pretty bad. But I guess like playing this was fine. Like I think it was fine. It's just like I said, it made the deck a little weird. As far as the side deck, I think that I would kind of like contribute a lot to my side deck. I definitely helped out. So I played obviously the 3 Gammas when you go first. This is probably the best hand trap, but you don't want to play it when you go. When you go second. Sorry, you don't want to play this when you go first, just because like it's just a bad draw. Obviously, like especially this deck, it wants to top deck like, and then outside of turn 1, I just don't see it being that good. It stops like people trying to kill your sand mining, but besides that, it's pretty bad. Obviously, like you're gonna summon something, all your cards need to be able to summon. So, Token Collector. This card won me every single Sword Soul matchup, and then in, what's it called? If you play against like the Eldritch deck, the token one, like you auto win with Token Collector. This card is ridiculous. You can just send this to the graveyard. Like once you have access to it, like yeah, it's just in there, so you can keep getting it back. 1 Regeki. I just didn't know what else to put in. I wanted a card that could kill the Flunder board, so it's that. 1 Harpies. Obviously this card's nuts. 3-Dimension Ground, it banishes everything. 2 Evenly Matched. I should have probably played a 3rd Evenly Matched over the Regeki, but I wanted a card that actually I wanted a Regeki because it actually clears the board, whereas this, they'll still leave something behind. They'll leave like the statue or something, and it'll still be hella annoying. So just 2, and then the Red Reboot. I think Red Reboot's probably the best card in the deck. It just like you ought to win every single LH matchup because they don't play hand traps. So you literally just Red Reboot them and you win. Like literally, like it's super easy. And yeah, I mean besides that, so the deck worked out perfectly. And like I had no issues with it. The loss, like I said, it was super bad. I drew like double parallel exceed, the field spell, and double will, and I just couldn't do anything. And I just got killed by PK twice. The second game was really bad as well. Like I couldn't do it. He summoned like DP, and I just couldn't get rid of it. Like I just drew unplayable. Like it was bad. But yeah, besides that, it worked out perfectly. Nothing else to say. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Now that I have reached the 500 subscribers, be on the lookout for the giveaway. And peace out, guys.